What's up, my friends? Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to serve anyone who's looking to level up from their current situation. This show is dedicated to helping raise the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts out there, those who want more out of life, those who want to do more, those who want to be more, those who love the thrill, the joy, and the connection of what these high performance engines bring into our lives. Because holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a good freaking person is who we are. Living our life to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. Man, if you haven't subscribed yet, here's your friendly reminder. Go ahead and smash that button so that you never miss another episode. So following the Motorsport Wednesday framework that we created, we dove in and we talked about motorcycles for the first 3 weeks. I started with motorcycles because I fucking genuinely love motorcycles. And that's kind of what I wanted to dive into. And so we're going to be back talking about motorcycles in the near future, but I thought today was a good idea to talk about cars and trucks. Let's kind of switch it up a little bit because the audience, it's some motorcycle guys, some motorsport guys, all motorsport guys. That's the goal, to help the motorsport community. But we talked a little bit about motorcycles. Let's talk a little bit about cars and trucks today. So more specifically, we're going to be talking about why adding a high performance tune is a must for your ride. And the reason why I decided to make a podcast episode around this is because lately I've been tuning a lot of cars and trucks and seeing how happy the clients walk away after I wake up their ride. It generally brings joy to my soul. It puts a year-to-year smile on me. And I like it. I generally like it. I enjoy it. It's like seeing grown men become kids again. They're enjoying that new toy that just came into their life. And so I want to talk about this, and that's what we're going to talk about this today. And for the record, I'm not putting this out there for marketing purpose. I really not. I like to always be transparent as fuck. And I actually rarely ever promote my tuning services. I rarely ever to the general public say, yo, I tune, let me know if you're interested. I rarely ever do that shit. I rarely ever promote it. And I don't do it because it's not why I started tuning in the first place. I really didn't. If I've tuned your car, if I've tuned your truck, you know that you heard about me through word of mouth. You probably know that you didn't hear about me because I was out promoting and saying, yo, I tune cars and this and that. You probably heard about me from a friend, or maybe a friend of a friend that told you about me, and we got connected to see how I could help you out. And so a little bit of backstory about my tuning knowledge is I started tuning really because I wanted to tune my own personal truck. Back in the day, it's been several years now, so I could say back in the day, over 5 years for sure. I had a really good tuner. This guy was super cool dude, stand-up type of guy. I still know him. I haven't hung out with him in a while, very long time, but super cool dude, tunes a lot of cars. And he tuned my Camaro. Originally, my Camaro, that's how I met him. And so he tuned it back when it was heads and cam, and then he tuned it again when it was heads, cam, and nitrous. And he tuned it again when I upgraded the setup and I went turbo. And he tuned that F-body Camaro SS that I had through all the stages, right? And so when I got my Silverado, I reached out to him again so that he could get my truck right, so that he can tune it. And the Silverado was also turbo, but the truck was a new build, and it had a lot of things to figure out. The reason why is because I got it in pieces. When I bought it, it was all taken apart. It had a motor on this side, had the turbo kit over here, had the transmission over there, and I really had to piece everything together. And so there were a lot of things to figure out on that build, right? And so that truck, the funny thing about that truck, and it's funny how things end up working out, is that truck, the one that I have now, the blue Silverado, that I completely have made it over into the way that I wanted it to be. The truck was actually what made me want to turbo my Camaro in the first place. And back then it wasn't mine, it was my friend's. And I just find it ironic that it ended up becoming my truck a couple years later, after it was the thing that got me to turbo my Camaro in the first place. And so my tuner back then lived very far from where I lived, right? And then he would come every so often, but you know, my truck had a lot of issues. So then there was one time where I had to, maybe twice, I don't know, but I had to tow my truck to his house, and so that he can get me right, so that he can get fixed, adjust the tune, so that he could, like, you know, I can keep going with the truck, so I can drive it, like, you know. And so, like I mentioned, that truck had a lot of things to figure out, and it came with a huge learning curve for me. Um, so being the type of person that likes to do as much stuff as I can on my own, like, I really ended up just like, man, I did the math, how much I paid for the tow, and like how much I was spending and this and that, and I was like, bro, why don't I just like look up to see who teaches tuning, and um and maybe there's something that I can learn for myself, and I can do it for myself, right? And and that's how I ended up working out. And I didn't do that because I wanted to tune other people's rides. I genuinely did it because I wanted the capability to make the adjustments to my own rides, like, and not have to rely on anyone else. Not because they weren't there, but because it just made more sense to me to have that capability. You know, now I had the Camaro, and then I had the Silverado, and I was like, bro, it makes just sense for me to learn my own stuff. I like to make the adjustments. I like to learn. I'm very knowledgeable. I'm kind of hands up kind of guy, and I don't know it all, and I truly believe that I will never know it all, but I'm the type of guy that goes and figures it out, and I like learning new things, and that was something that really intrigued me. And so I looked up who taught tuning in the area, and I found the tuning school. Those guys are up in the Tampa area. I'm actually wearing their shirt. Um, Stand up type of guys, man. Really, generally, I have good feedback about them. And I started with them is I took their GM beginners hands on class, right? And and it was like a multiple day weekend type of workshop where you go and you learn all the basics. Um, and they put a car on their dyno, and then they teach you about all the stuff, and it was, bro, I learned a lot. Right, it was good, but my truck was already turbo, and my truck was, I guess, more an advanced topic, and so I ended up having to come back to take, you know, their GM advanced course, and I did that like several weeks later. I had to actually prove to them that I kind of knew the basics, and so I had to tune a couple cars locally, so that as the beginner stages, so that I can show them that I would be able to qualify for the advanced course. Because what happens is that they don't want people in the advanced course who are not ready for the advanced section, because then you end up holding up everyone that's in class, and it's not fair to the attendings that are ready to learn the advanced topics, but you're still kind of falling behind. So I had a little bit of a qualification process, and I had to prove myself that I had already learned the basics. And that was a good thing because it did make me learn the basics, right? And those guys at the tuning school, man, really cool people, really cool. The owner of it is Bob Moriali. I think that's how you say his last name, but really cool people over there, man. I always recommend them for anyone who wants to go learn to tune. They have courses, they have a book, and then the hands-on kind of class is the way to go. Um, and I also met some cool dudes in class too. Like, some of them I kind of still chat back and forth on social media, right? And so going to that school, what it did is it gave me the resources I needed to be able to learn everything that I know today, like about tuning general motor specific vehicles. Like, I that's all I kind of do is General Motors vehicles, Chevy, GM, General Motors, right? You know, like GMC and Chevy, pretty much. And so what I did is I took their Gen 3 and their Gen 4 and their Gen 5 classes, all three of those. And you know, you start first with Gen 3, then you learn about Gen 4, then you learn about the Gen 5. And but the really ones that really interested me the most were the Gen 3 and the Gen 4 vehicles, because that's what I had around. And I had mostly Gen 3 vehicles. A lot of my friends had some Gen 4s. Um, and and that's what really caught my attention. Like, you know, those are the type of vehicles that I was really interested in, and I'm still interested in, and really only focus on Gen 3 and Gen 4. And truthfully, I think, you know, I think it's because the Gen 5s, like the newer GM vehicles, they're all called Gen 5s. They have such a lengthy tuning process to get things right that it really just didn't catch my attention. Like, could I do them? Yeah, I could do them. I've done a couple of Gen 5 vehicles. But what happens is that, like, I'm a perfectionist type of dude. And so, like, these new Gen 5 vehicles it's a very lengthy process, because there's a lot of things that you got to tune. And now the transmissions are so much more intrigued. And so you're spending a lot of time tuning these vehicles. And I was spending way extra more time than I needed to, because I wanted to get things to my liking. Like I'm the type of guy who would leave whoever's ride I'm working on like if it was my own, and that really kind of made me lose interest in the Gen 5 vehicles and the newer GM vehicles and that newer platform, because um, it just it takes too much time for what the going rate is, and I just lost interest in that. So now I just truly focus on the Gen 3s and the Gen 4s because that's what I have and that's what my friends have. Um, and so tuned them, a lot of them, because that's what's really around me. And so how that ended up happening was that I tuned my truck and it was fucking doing really well. And then my friends, they were like, "Hey, can you tune my truck too?" Like, and the word got around, and then they saw that my truck was turbo, and then I was always ragging it out. I was always making decent power, and they seen that it was doing really well. So my friends started asking me, "Bro, hey, would you mind tuning my truck too, or would you mind tuning my car too?" And that's how it really all began. Like, not because I was there promoting my services. I never really was, and I rarely ever do. I just go by word of mouth. And to this day, actually, like, and aside from this episode that we're doing right here, I rarely ever promote it. Like, it's not my main thing, nor do I have aspirations to make it my full-time thing. Like, it really isn't. Like, I do this as a hobby, and lately, I've been doing it more so just to vibe with other men and other people, other enthusiasts who enjoy the same passion for making their cars and trucks faster. Um, um, Genuinely, truthfully, transparent as fuck. I just enjoy seeing the smiles on their face. That when I wake up their vehicles, like it just makes my soul like fucking happy. Like, um, it really does. Like seeing, it's just something I find like so funny and so intriguing that like seeing grown men being so happy after you tune their ride and you wake up their vehicle and they're like, "Man, this is fucking badass." Like, you're literally seeing a grown man like getting a new toy, and like it's that's what I like about it. I really do, and that's why I do it. And so I spend more time than I need to doing it because, man, I like to treat other people's vehicles, like other clients' trucks or cars that I'm tuning, like if it was my own. Like, and so I leave that car or truck like to the best of my ability, probably way more than I need to, because these computers nowadays they kind of they take over and they adjust for a lot of imperfections that you might leave in the tune, and like I could be like other tuners. Other tuners just do 3 or 4 pulls and that's it. They leave it good enough, right? But I don't do that. Like we sit there and we spend several hours customizing every tune to that specific ride, um, and it comes out to the best that I can make it, and it comes out super smooth. It comes out like I've actually had customers that have come to me, um, after someone else has already tuned their ride, like, and they come to me so that I can dial in their drivability aspect, so I can get things really smooth, so I can make their car like drive as close as stock to possible. And most of the time, we can get this shit driving pretty like if it was off the showroom stock, but then making fucking nice power. Um, and when they physically see like how much time we spend together, like versus how much time they spend with other tuners, with other people that have done it, like this is a common thing that I always get. Like they're like, "Man, I wish I would have just came to you in the first place. Like, look how much time you put into my truck. Look how much time you put into my car. Look how much time you actually put into this." And I help them diagnose and do all this because I generally enjoy it. It's a hobby for me. It's not a job. It's not like I don't do it to make money. I do it to just cover the time that I'm spending with them. But it's just a hobby for me, and it brings joy to see them being more happy, right? And so you step on the gas. A lot of tuners will do this, man. They like anyone can really tune wide open throttle tuning, in my opinion. Once you learn the basics of it, like any tuner can go out there, and this is very common. Tuners will just step on the gas. They adjust those little cells that affect the wide open throttle tuning area. They add a little bit of power, and then bam, they'll just send the car or the truck out on their way. And they always say, "Oh, it's just good enough. It's good enough." And but that's not how I roll. Like I spend a lot of time customizing the vehicle to get the tuning to get the entire tuning table right as much as I can. I tune a lot of these vehicles on the street. The majority of them I tune on the street, because we could get it going on the street. Um, and let me tell you that these General Motors cars and trucks, like they come so detuned from the factory that you really just wake them up by adding some basic bolt-ons and a custom tune. Like it really does. Like in fact, like it wakes up so much that most of the time, almost every single Gen 3 truck that I've tuned, we usually always run out of injector from how much power I add back into the vehicle. Like it's happened to me. I don't know if you lost count of how many times I go tune trucks that and now that's the first thing I say. I was like, oh, what kind of mod do you have? Oh, intake, exhaust, and full exhaust. Even those two mods, you'll max out injectors because you wake up the truck so much, right? And it responds so much better. It rides so much smoother. Like it transitions on and off the throttle with no hesitation. And the vehicle really just fucking wakes up. Like, and in my opinion, these cars and trucks, they're so detuned from factory because General Motors, they probably just want to minimize the warranty claims. Like they want to minimize the abuse that their clients are putting on their vehicles with the power that they truly can make, because these GM vehicles can make some fucking good power. And so I really think that they detune them so much from factory because they don't want to have so many warranty claims, right? And maybe they also realize that, man, if we put this shit at full power mode, the transmissions are not going to last as long, because a basic stock 4L60, after you do a high performance tune on a truck and it has bolt-ons, that shit is not gonna, and it starts making some power, it's not gonna last very long because those transmissions, they don't hold up very good. You need at least some basic upgrades to the transmission for it so it could hold for some time, but still it's only a ticking bomb. And so they really detune the crap out of their vehicles to minimize their customers from breaking them. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. And I call them the Chevy police. I really do, because like they detune the shit out of their cars and their trucks, and so they're like the Chevy police, and most of these trucks, like that I'm talking about, we don't need the Chevy police anymore, like, because most of them are out of warranty, like, so that's not a problem anymore, like, and to be real, usually the people that want a high performance tune, people like you and me right here that we're talking about, like, we're here to fucking carry about a warranty. Like, we're here to fucking make power. Like, we're here for the burnouts. We're here to fucking race. We're here to have fun. We're here to enjoy the smiles per gallon. Like, and I say that because if you drive a VA, especially one of these Chevys, you know that those fucking shits, they chug gas like a motherfucker. They really do. And so there's always that one guy there. I'm gonna say this because there is always that one guy out there that is like, oh man, if you're modding these cars or trucks, it wastes too much gas. It wastes too much gas. Like, there's always that guy out there that says it. But man, we aren't building these shits to get good gas mileage. Like if we aren't. Like, we're building it because they have the capability to make some good horsepower. And like, who doesn't love fucking horsepower? In fact, if you're here with me right now, there's like 99% probability that you fucking love horsepower. We're the same. Like, you're my kind of people. People who fucking soup up their rides to make it faster and to perform better. Like, this is what we're all about. People who love cars, people who love trucks, people who fucking love motorsports. That's us. People who love high performance engines, because the fuel, the smell, the burning sensation of all that shit, it brings joy to our souls. It makes it smile. It brings you to your smile. Like, people who love to smash the gas pedal and hold it wide fucking open. Like this is who we are. And so, man, if you've been wondering if a custom high performance tune is worth adding to your ride, man, I'm here to tell you, hell yeah, brother. It definitely is. High performance tune is the way to go. You will be happy that you did it. You can just have some basic mods and a cold air intake and full exhaust, and you do a custom tune, and that shit wakes up, man. It really does. I always recommend it, and you'll be happy you did it. So guys, I'm driving the fucking checkered flag deep into the ground, and I'm calling out all the motorsport enthusiasts who want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the shit that's been holding us back, and let's prove to the world that we're truly some badass motherfuckers. Those of you who made it to the end of the episode, I want to say that you got yourself a win, man, and I truly appreciate you for investing your valuable time into the Live Wide Open podcast. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others improve is the mission that God has tasked us with. We are driven individuals working on breaking the fucking stereotype and becoming the best that we can be. Join me on this journey while we help as many motorsport enthusiasts as possible to create the best lives that we can imagine. Yo, and if you haven't been subscribed yet, what are you waiting for, my friends? Go ahead and smash that button, that subscribe button, so that you never miss another episode. You can follow me on my Instagram. That's kind of what I'm on all the time. My handle is Wide Open Randy. Man, and if you felt any connection to today's message, I generally ask that you please share this on your stories, because those are the actions that get more people to see this. Those are the actions that get more people to hear about this. And ultimately, that's what really helps to spread the message. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. But till then, live your life wide open, my friends. Peace.